Guys, I want to ask you something. When was the last time you truly cried? I remember a day, working at a little barber shop, when a man walked in, gently pushing his wife in a wheelchair. What immediately struck me was that both of their heads were completely shaved. It was confusing, to say the least, and honestly, things just got stranger from there. He then just sat right down in one of my empty chairs. My first thought? Is this a prank? Am I on camera? I actually started scanning the room, expecting to see someone recording. I asked him, a bit bewildered, what exactly he was doing, but the look in his eyes quickly told me this was no joke. He motioned for me to lean closer, and as he began to speak, his story absolutely shattered my heart. He told me that just a few years prior, his wife, who was only 28, had started acting strangely. They soon discovered she had a brain tumor. But by the time it was diagnosed, the damage was tragically irreversible. She began a slow, agonizing descent, gradually losing her memory. Now, she no longer recognized him, and the aggressive treatments had caused her to lose all her hair. He had just shaved his own head in a beautiful act of solidarity and support for her. But then, he shared something incredible. The moment she heard the distinct buzz of a hair clipper, it was as if a tiny spark ignited in her mind. For a fleeting second, it seemed like she almost recognized him. He then looked at me, pleadingly, and asked if I would just pretend to cut his hair. He said, even if there's the slightest chance it could bring her back, just for a moment, it would mean everything. Without a moment's hesitation, I told him, of course. I went to the back and grabbed one of our spare wigs. I helped him gently wheel her chair closer. In that moment, she truly looked lost, completely unaware of her surroundings. But then, the instant I flicked the hair clipper on and started that familiar buzzing sound, I witnessed something truly magical unfold. Her eyes slowly fluttered open, and she began to cautiously look around the room. Then, her gaze landed on her husband. For a precious few seconds, she just stared at him, and then, so softly, she whispered his name. John. I don't think either of us could have stopped the tears from flowing if we tried. She kept repeating his name, a beautiful, fragile echo, and then she asked him, "Are you getting your hair cut?" It was the first time she had remembered him in what felt like an eternity. He explained that he used to get his hair cut very frequently, so it must have been the familiar sound of the clippers that sparked that incredible moment of recognition. After a little while, her eyes grew tired again, and she drifted back into her quiet state, but her husband couldn't stop thanking me, his gratitude pouring out. I didn't see them again for a few months, until one day, he returned to the shop, specifically asking for me. He walked straight over, pulled me into a tight hug, and then tried to press a wad of cash, $5,000, into my hand. He told me that his wife had become very ill shortly after our encounter and had passed away not long after. But, he said, because of that moment, because of what we did, he got to experience her presence, her true self, one last time before she left him forever. He explained he was so incredibly grateful, he felt he simply had to repay me somehow. Of course, I refused the money and insisted he keep it. But when I arrived at the shop the very next morning, there it was, the stack of bills, carefully placed on my barber chair.